In the bustling city of Lagos, Nigeria, there lived a young boy named Tunde. With bright eyes, dark skin glowing under the warm Nigerian sun, and a mind always eager to learn, Tunde stood out for his quiet intelligence. He was 15, a student at one of the best schools in his district, a place he had earned a scholarship to through sheer hard work and dedication. But despite his academic brilliance, Tunde's life was far from easy. He lived with his mother, Mama Yetunde, and his 3 younger siblings in a modest 2-room apartment in the lively yet impoverished Olodi Apapa neighborhood. Tunde's life was simple, yet it was rich in experiences that made each day a new adventure. Each morning, he woke before the first light, the air still cool and quiet. His mother was already up, bustling around their small kitchen, and Tunde would join her to help with the morning chores. Together they would sweep the sandy floor, fetch water from the neighborhood well, and prepare breakfast. It wasn't a luxurious meal, maybe just a bowl of pap with a bit of bread, but it was filling and warmed him up for the day ahead. The journey to school was long, but Tunde saw it as more than just a walk. It was a chance to observe his world, one step at a time. He would stroll through his neighborhood, where the houses were modest and close together, their walls faded by the relentless sun. He knew the faces of everyone he passed by. Auntie Bola, who sold akara and always had a smile for him, the children playing with makeshift toys on the dusty road, and old Mr. Bakare, who would sit outside his house every morning, nodding to Tunde as he walked by. As he reached the bustling marketplace, the energy around him intensified. The vendors were loud and lively, already setting out their stalls in the dim morning light. They shouted out prices and greeted regular customers, creating a chorus of voices that seemed to belong to the city itself. Tunde loved the mix of colors here, the bright oranges of the mangoes, the deep green of the leafy greens, and the rich brown of roasted yams. The smell of fresh fish, frying oil, and spices lingered in the air, making his mouth water even after breakfast. Tunde's school was in a more affluent area of Lagos, where houses were bigger and the streets were wider and cleaner. As he got closer, he would watch the cars rolling up to the school gates, sleek and shining, carrying students in crisp uniforms who looked out the window with a casual indifference. But Tunde didn't mind his dusty shoes or the worn edges of his own uniform. His pride wasn't in the material things. His pride was in the knowledge that he was doing his best. He wanted to make his mother proud, to excel in his studies so that one day he could help her as she had helped him. Once inside the school gate, Tunde became just like everyone else, his focus sharp and his dreams big. He excelled in all his classes, particularly enjoying literature, where he could lose himself in the stories from other worlds, while still feeling deeply connected to his own. At the end of the day, his long walk home was filled with familiar sights and sounds once again. The city was alive, pushing through the rhythm of evening vendors, drumming music, and street laughter. By the time he reached home, he was tired but content. He knew that every step, every chore, every class was a piece of his journey, and while he might not have much, he had all that he needed: a loving family, an education, and a deep-rooted love for the city that was his home. However, life at school wasn't as welcoming as the sights and sounds of his neighborhood. While he was proud to be there, many of his classmates, especially the wealthy ones, didn't feel the same. They saw Tunde as different, a boy who in their eyes didn't belong to their group and should not be in the same school with them. Femi, one of his wealthier classmates, was the worst of them all. He was a tall, fair-skinned boy whose father owned several large businesses in Lagos. Femi always wore the latest designer shoes and clothes and is chauffeur-driven to school every morning in a sleek black car. To him, Tunde was nothing more than a curiosity, a scholarship student who didn't fit in with the polished world of privilege that Femi and his friends enjoyed. One day, as Tunde was making his way to the classroom, he noticed Femi and a group of his friends logging by the lockers. They exchanged knowing glances as he approached. "Ah, look who is here," Femi sneered, his voice loud enough to draw attention from others nearby. The charity case. Tunde kept his eyes forward, pretending not to hear. He had learned that ignoring their comments was often the best way to avoid confrontation. But today, Femi seemed determined. "What? No response?" Femi mocked, walking alongside Tunde. "Do you even know what these shoes are?" he asked, pointing down at his own brightly polished imported leather shoes. "They cost more than you will ever make in a month." "Oh, sorry. Do you even have any money? Or do you just live on donations?" The group laughed, the cruel sound echoing down the hallway. Tunde felt his cheeks grow hot with shame and anger, but he took a deep breath, remembering his mother's words. "Silence can be a strength, my son. Don't let words bring you down." Still, he stunk. Throughout the day, he focused on his classes, losing himself in the comfort of his books and numbers. He dreamt of one day becoming an engineer, building structures that will improve his community. His teachers often praised his keen mind, saying he was destined for greatness. But Tunde knew that to achieve his dreams, he would have to work twice as hard, especially with the weight of judgment and mockery on his shoulders. The bullying continued over the next few weeks. Femi and his friends would make snide comments about Tunde's shoes, his clothes, or even his lunch, which was usually a simple meal his mother prepared. To them, Tunde's life was a curiosity, something far removed from their reality of lavish homes, expensive clothing, and vacations abroad. But for Tunde, it was becoming a heavy burden. One rainy afternoon, Tunde returned home, unusually quiet. His mother noticed immediately. She was a strong woman, withered from years of hard work and the challenges of raising 4 children on her own. She watched him for a moment before placing a gentle hand on his shoulder. "Tunde, my son, what is it?" she asked, her voice full of concern. Tunde hesitated, biting his lips as he tried to gather his thoughts. "Mama," he began slowly, "the kids at school, they laugh at me. They say I don't belong because we don't have the same things they do. They say I'm poor, and they are right. Mama Yetunde took a deep breath, pulling her son close. Tunde, listen to me. You are worth more than the money they carry in their pockets. Money can buy many things, yes, but it cannot buy integrity, kindness, or wisdom. You have something they do not have, and that is determination. And that, my son, is worth more than any amount of naira. But it hurts, Mama, Tunde said, his voice cracking. It hurts to be looked at like I'm not good enough. She hugged him tighter, her heart breaking for her son. You are more than good enough, my son, Tunde. You come from a line of strong people. Your father, God rest his soul, was a good man, hardworking and honorable. You are the same, and one day people will see that. Her words comforted him, and from that day on, Tunde began to walk a little taller. He poured his heart into his studies, excelling in every subject. He spent long hours at the library, studying late into the night, despite the touts. He refused to let them distract him from his dreams, his focus. Over time, some of his classmates began to notice his determination. One girl in his class, Amaka, admired his work ethics and began to sit with him at lunch, listening as he shared his ideas about engineering and his plans to one day give back to his community. Their friendship grew, and soon other students who once ignored him began to recognize his talent. But Femi was relentless. One afternoon, during a break between classes, he approached Tunde, a mocking smile on his face. You're working so hard, but do you really think it will make a difference? He sneered. No amount of studying will change where you come from. Tunde took a deep breath, steadying himself. For the first time, he looked Femi in the eyes, his voice calm but firm. It's true I can't change where I come from, but I can change where I'm going. And one day, I'll go places you can't even imagine, Femi. Femi fell silent, taken aback by the courage, the strength in Tunde's words. He didn't know how to respond, so he simply walked away, muttering under his breath. That moment was a turning point for Tunde. He continued to excel, eventually graduating at the top of his class. His hard work paid off when he was awarded a full scholarship to a prestigious university abroad, where he pursued his dream of becoming a civil engineer. Years later, after much sacrifice and perseverance, Tunde became one of the most respected civil engineers in Lagos. He didn't forget where he came from, Olodi Apapa. He returned to Olodi Apapa and started a foundation to provide scholarship for children with low-income families. He built schools, organized mentorship programs, and worked tirelessly to give others the opportunities he had fought so hard to earn. One day, as he was overseeing the construction of a new school in his old neighborhood, he noticed a familiar face in the crowd. Femi. They hadn't seen each other since their school days, and Femi looked somehow different now. He had the same polished look, but his once arrogant expression was gone. He walked over to Tunde, extending his hand. Tunde, I just wanted to say I was wrong about you, Femi admitted, his voice filled with regret. "You've done more than any of us could have imagined." Tunde smiled, accepting Femi's hand. "We all have our journeys, Femi," he replied. "Some just take a little longer to see the path." From that day on, Tunde's story became a legend in his community. Parents would tell their children about the boy who had once walked the dusty roads to school, who faced ridicule but rose above it all to make a difference. Tunde had shown that true wealth wasn't measured in naira or possessions, but in courage, resilience, and a heart willing to give back. In time, Tunde's foundation grew, touching lives far beyond Lagos, spreading hope to children across Nigeria. He had fulfilled his dreams, but more importantly, he had become a beacon of hope for others, proving that no matter where you come from, you can rise, you can succeed, and you can change the world. The moral lesson. This story of Tunde teaches us several valuable lessons. 1. True wealth is within. Tunde's journey reminds us that material wealth does not define a person's worth. True value lies in one's character, resilience, and determination. Despite lacking money, Tunde's strength, intelligence, and compassion are what make him truly wealthy. 2. Perseverance through adversity. Tunde's persistence, even in the face of bullying and hardship, shows the importance of perseverance. Instead of letting negativity bring him down, he focused on his goals and worked even harder, proving that determination can overcome any challenge. 3. Empathy and humility. Tunde's humility contrasts sharply with Femi's arrogance, showing that success is most meaningful when paired with empathy and humility. After achieving his dreams, Tunde returned to help his community, showing that success should be shared to uplift others. 4. Believing in one's potential. The story emphasizes the power of self-belief. Despite being told he wasn't good enough, Tunde's belief in his potential fueled his drive. By staying true to himself, he not only changed his own life but also inspired others. 5. Redemption and forgiveness. When Femi returns to apologize, Tunde forgives him, showing that growth and redemption are possible. The story reminds us that it's never too late to change and make amends for past wrongs. Overall, the story teaches us to value inner qualities, rise above hardships, believe in oneself, and share success by giving back to others. And so the name Tunde became synonymous with resilience, a reminder to everyone that true wealth lies in one's heart and spirit, and that greatness can rise from even the humblest beginning. That's it, my lovelies. We've come to the end of this video. Thanks so much for being there. Till I come your way next time, it's goodbye from Tabby's Corner. See you in my next video.